Good evening, and welcome to the underground lair of Stringman Guitars. Tonight we have a 2018 Fender Stratocaster, and I almost started to, I did start to take it apart before I realized I wasn't filming. So, just to give you a rundown, it is a 2018. I do not know if Buddy got it used or if he got it new. I would assume he got it new, but I don't know. But it's an American Standard Fender Stratocaster. Nothing out of the ordinary on this guitar. It's just a standard HSS. It's got the, I don't think this is a rosewood board. It's the new, I would assume it's the new, whatever material they're making it out of now. Non-locking tuners, 2 string trees, and for being a new guitar, it's a little bit cattywampus here. And the height of the tremolo, if it's, or vibrato system, if it's to be floating, should be 1/8 of an inch. Well, it was about 1/4 of an inch. It was really jerked up there. So what I'm doing is I'm going to loosen off the screws on the claw in the back until this is tight here. This is a fret rocker that I have in the jammed under the tailpiece. Can't put it all the way over here because this bends down and it'll throw your measurement off. This part here. If you look at the back of that, you'll see what I'm talking about. Over here, it bends down, so you can't put your, you can't measure over there. So I've got it stuck on this side. It's fine, it's going to be level. And what I'm going to do is release the strings until, or the screws that are on the claw. I've already got it detuned. So we're going to bring these back. They're not even. Come on, Fender. Or actually, what am I doing? I'm going the other way. I want to go the other way. But come on, Fender. It should have been even. At least we don't have the chicken foot spring attachment. So I want to pull these this claw so the springs have the tension pulling back down on top of that fret rocker that's 1/8 of an inch tall or thick. And you want to work with your distance equal. So the springs are right. Notice they have in the American, they've got the nice big block in there. Okay, so now what we do is, and since it is a new guitar, I am going to do part of my measurements for the setup with the old strings. I know that's a big no-no, but we can make small adjustments once we make the big adjustments. So we are armed and ready here with the tuner. Go where I want it to go. I always put it in the neck position and max volume and back the tone off. Bring it up to pitch. Okay. So there we go. See, it's immediately half a cent sharp as soon as I picked it up. Took the tension off the neck, or took the neck off the support. Alright, so let's see. Well, we know it's going to be off. Hold on one second, let me get, here's my height gauge. Super handy. Give you I had it upside down. Allows you to measure in 64ths, in decimals, and in metric, and a conversion on the back. So string height is a little high for what we want. It's at about 5/64ths, 6/64ths, 6/64ths, 7/64ths, 6/64ths, and 4.5/64ths. It should be 4/64ths all the way across. But let's take a look at relief. We should have 10 1/1000ths of relief. Hold down at the 17th and measure at the 7th, and that's exactly what we have. So there's enough, there's proper relief on it. Let's go ahead and adjust the string height to ballpark. Like I said, it's gonna change. I just like to have a good starting point. It's gonna change when we put new strings on it. Alright. Got the right Allen wrench, or Allen key. And as I always say, for your saddles, since there's 2 screws in them, they should be level. The actual saddle level to the base plate of the bridge. So now we're at 4/64ths. And of course this is going to draw everything back flat as we're taking tension off the screws. A little too far down there. Let's see. This one just comes down a hair. Now, for the money of a Fender Stratocaster, you would think that they would sell, or they would install 4/64ths. They would install. You see all the high adjustment screws. Fender does make a set of radius. In other words, the ones here and here are shorter. The ones here are a little longer. these two are shorter, so that when you're playing, you're not ripping your hand with the bridge. Why they don't put that on there for the extra few cents on an American-made product, I don't know. But it's kind of a bummer to think that they wouldn't. I'm going to suggest to Buddy that he put some locking tuners, fender locking tuners on there. The less string you have wrapped around the post, the more in tune your vibrato will stay. Okay, so let's go back and double check. 464s, 464s, 464s. I could still come down a hair. .464s, 464s, 464s. Let's see if we have any through buzz. A little bit there. A little bit on the G. Come on, Fender. Nothing's actually choking out, I'm just getting a little bit of buzz. Let's check our relief again since things have changed. It's right where I want it. Okay, this is the stuff. Boiled linseed oil. Just takes a little bit. I've had this can for 5 years, 6 years. At least 6 years, and it's almost to the top still. And it's the only size I had. What am I going to do? So, you take a little bit and you put it on the fingerboard. You rub it in. And you rub it right off. It's not meant to condition. It does condition the fingerboard, but it doesn't. It's not meant to soak into the fingerboard like lemon oil or the other various stuff that the stores will sell you. This will condition it, and you won't have to worry about doing any sort of worry about doing any sort of reapplying. You know, like there's guys that take this stuff here every time they change the strings because their fingerboard's all dried out. Well, it's because it gets soaked into the wood, and it also has a drying agent in it. So when we put this stuff on, like I said, we just use a little bit, and it seals the rosewood or whatever this palo ferro environmentally safe, reusable wood is they're using now, which just a little bit on. And it does stink, so make sure you're ventilated. Notice I taped up off the body. I don't want to get any of this on the body. And it gives you that nice luster. I'm not putting any on the neck. I mean, you know, the back of the neck. Just going straight on the top. Makes it look nice. And it will, like I said, it will stink. So you let this thing dry a little bit. You can work on it because you're going to take the excess off, like I'm doing here. Now in about a year, buddy goes to change strings or brings it in for another setup. Then we put another coat on. Otherwise, you just change the strings, clean it with your simple green. Let's see, all sticky stuff gone. All right. Okay, so we're good. Get rid of that rag. You see how little I used. So you may ask yourself, what did I see that I didn't like? I realized that I put my 1/8 inch fret rocker under here, but I didn't have it all the way across, and it also wasn't under here. I was using the short end of it, which was making the thing lift up a lot more than it should. It will lift up. See what I'm doing there? But you want it just on the edge of the bend, and you look at it so whenever you actually measure it, it will be 1/8, not, you know, 1/8 and a little bit. You want it to be right. So now it's right. So we're going to restring it. Okay, before we go and string it all up, I use this stuff called guitar grease, and you put it on all the contact points where your strings make contact. You glop it on there, you're going to wipe it off anyhow. And this will help keep your synchronous tremolo, that's what Fender calls it, it's a vibrato, in tune better. So I'm going to help keep it in tune, but it will help keep it in tune better. Everywhere strings make a contact point, you put this stuff in there, even though you have, according to Fender, the Graphtec nut. You still put this goop in here, because the less friction your strings have, the less chance you are going to go out of tune. Nothing like playing a gig whenever you're sitting there playing the gig. And the guitar does that too. I mean, Hendrix knew how to handle that. But we're not Hendrix, are we? At least I'm not. We've got strings on. And notice all the flippy flappy. Yeah, that's going to stay that way till we're done. Because you have to, oh, we're stretching strings, by the way. If for some reason you messed up and you have to take a string off, you can still do that with some flippy flappy things like that. Can't do that once you've cut the ends off. You're pretty much done and putting a new set of strings on. The non-wound strings, you're not going to stretch as much, just because you don't want to break them. There's not much to stretch. With the wound ones, yeah, you'll put a pretty good tug on them. Go ahead and tune her up to pitch. And see what it says. We're now going to take it and we're going to put it on a stand where there's no weight on the neck, and let it sit overnight. Then we'll finish the setup and hopefully Buddy get his guitar back tomorrow afternoon. Good morning to you, and a cup of strong Starbucks pumpkin K-cup coffee. Alright, we let our American Standard Stratocaster set overnight, and just needed to make a minor tweak in the truss rod. It was just a hair too tight. So let's take a look at our string height, and about 5.5 64ths on the low E, and everything else is at 4 64ths. I'm sorry, let's back up. About 4.5 64ths, a hair over 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. And that's basically because we had a little bit of fret buzz in here. Nothing that you'd hear through an amp, but that's why they give you a lot of wiggle room in the specs. So we have our fret rocker in place here, still holding the bridge at 1/8 of an inch. First, let's set our pickup height. So we're going to go ahead and do that. These are, they're brass, so they're not magnetic, and they're a perfect size. These two are the perfect size to use with, for us. It's not in the picture. These two are the perfect size to check for the Stratocaster, or actually any guitar, really, unless you're dealing with something with EMGs or what's those other ones that you could bring up as close as you can to the things. I can't remember them right now. They're on the I believe they're on the Gilmore Strat. Okay, so we hold down here, and that pickup is too low, so change my screwdriver head. Let's see if they're about to go. The Harman style. Let's do two screws on side. On side. Two on side. Mix. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Good. Excuse me, good. Okay, we're good there. Alright. Pickup height's adjusted. So the last thing we do, so we got it tuned, we got it lubed, we got the string height correct, which, well, Fender got it right. At the first fret, we have 10 thousandths relief at the 7th. We have about 4.5 64ths here, and about 5 64ths, 4.5 64ths, 4 4 4 4. A little bit of buzz, but nothing you will hear through the amp. The release screws a bit in the back because they're really cranked in. 3. Count your turns. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll do one more. For good measure. 1. 1. And we'll set her free . 1, 2. 1, 2. It's not falling out yet. 1, 2. 1, 2. Still tight. 1, 2. 1, 2. There it goes. Alright. We have an eighth of an inch, and you can always come back with an old-fashioned ruler and measure. Your 1/8 inch is there. We can take out the protective film, otherwise known as painter's tape. Let's see what that did to our tuning, if anything. It probably did fall a little sharp. Yes. So let's just bring it back to where it's supposed to be. Alright, I'm going to stop here and finish this up. I don't want to make it a half-hour video. Alright, now that we got everything intonated, string height set across the board, pickup height is set, everything is nice and lubed up. So I'm going to do this for a little while. Thank you for viewing. Have a super rest of your week.